name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature, and I have to say in my area today was better than what the weather people were saying. You know, they were saying it was going to get colder, colder, colder throughout the day, and it's still beautiful out. So you're able to get out somewhere in nature, and besides, be gentle with yourself, understand that, we're not always going to make the right decisions every day or every moment, and really just to appreciate, other people and yourself, and love yourself like you should. And it's a lot of practice, it's a lot of self-love, but you can do this, even if yesterday didn't work out as planned. Today's a new day to start all over again, and not to make that mistake. And then there are times that we might have to repeat the same. There are lessons that we have to learn, so it takes sometimes more than one time, just like riding a bicycle. Or now Starlight passed her driver's test the first time, but even if you failed the first time, you get a couple shots at getting your driver's license, and that goes with so many other things in life. So don't be so hard on yourself or others. Anyway, and you could, if you're new to my YouTube channel, you're new to my YouTube channel, well, welcome to my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is called Starlight, and you can find me on YouTube. Sorry, I had to pop up here. I gotta it's just distracted me. So anyway, you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. And you can also, if you want to see and be that change that you want to see in the world, is you can give this video a thumbs up. By giving my videos the thumbs up, you are helping my YouTube channel, not just for me to grow my YouTube channel, but you're helping other people that are searching for these kind of answers in their life. So besides liking my videos, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget the notification bell. That way you do not Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So here we go. Right through the portal. These videos are so important because, when Starlight looks out in the world, I'm like, why do we still have families? But why is this still going on in the world today? Why are there still children being abused at home or in other places out in the world? Is that we really need to really do better as far as parents. Some of you, you're doing great jobs, and some of you, you are trying your best to be making the right decisions to give your kids a brighter future, where they can learn how to be a mom and a dad. That way we don't repeat, the same stuff over and over again that doesn't work. So that's why it's so important, as far as relationships go. And like I already had part one of, a lot of times when people want to get together with somebody that has kids, they're really not always thinking about the children, the adults and their needs, whatever those needs are. So I already went through part one on really how serious it is to protect your kids. How important it is, to really get to know that person that you're deciding that you want a relationship, whether they have one child or a few children. Single and you want to get hooked up with a guy or girl, that either, they could be single, they could be, like someone that's searching, and you might not even be at the boyfriend, girlfriend, area yet. It could be, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or, well, it could be that you're married, where things do happen sometimes in people's lives. Maybe you're not divorced yet. So this is for anybody and everybody that is seeking to be in a relationship, including children. Like I said, whether you're single dad or mom and the person that you desire to be with or spend time with or get to know, either one child or more. Now this video is for people that have two families, or two couples, a guy and a girl, of course, that have kids, and you want to go with another guy or girl, and you're not going out with each other. This is before you start somebody that you might just be getting to know, or somebody that you think that you've known for 20 years but only once. So just because somebody says, hey, I've known this person for 20 years, don't mean shit, really. 20 years of how much time altogether in the 20 years did you really know, off and on throughout the 20 years? Because I've had male friends, not female friends, but I've had several male friends that I've known throughout 20 years, but I never spend any time with them. I might have worked with them, might have did stuff with them, out in public, like going for hikes or doing this or that. But really, how much time did you spend with these people, the guy or a girl? So you do really got to count that as far as, really taking things to the next level. And I really don't want to talk about so much of you, because that's in part one if you really want to know. Somebody that has kids, whether they have one child or two or three or four or five or 10, it doesn't matter how many. But like if you already have kids and they have kids, whether it's a guy or a girl, whether they're married, divorced, or whatever their situation is, and you want to, you're thinking, hey, I see this guy at work, and a lot of times they say, if they are at your workplace, a lot of people say that doesn't work. So you might want to think about getting a different job, because, depending on that person and their maturity level and your like, and how everything goes, because jobs, a lot of people have gossip and drama, so it is very difficult to actually have a relationship with somebody that you work with. Not saying it's not impossible. It really depends on how mature you both are, and if you are into gossip and rumors and stuff like that, to even think of a relationship working in that situation. But this is really about people that have kids, whether you're single, you could possibly be still like married to somebody. This does happen. Sometimes people are married to somebody, but they might not live with that person. They could have been kind of on their own, whether they've dated or not, and they're still searching for that one. Maybe they haven't given up totally to restart things all over, and they could have children. That's what this video is for, is, they could have children from their, the wife that they're with now, or they could have children with the husband that they're with now, both sides. So, you really want to take care of your last relationship. To me, that's Starlight's opinion, really. You really want to, if you really are serious about getting married to a guy or a girl, whether you're a husband or a wife, it, to me, is really best to really clear out the situation that you have now with either your wife or your husband. And, if you want to get married again, I would work on letting them go and saying, hey, I'm sorry, but, I'm not going to let fear interrupt, me having my happiness in life. And whether the relationship, of course, the relationship didn't work, that's why you are on your own and you're seeking, another relationship. Whether you've given up on real serious relationships like getting married down the road and living together and getting married down the road, it goes in that order. So most of the time, so some people do, they just get married and then they, do things opposite. So hopefully you're, really dealing with the one problem that you have now with the wife or the husband, and let them know is, I desire to get married later on, and I know we've been, maybe a person that had kids for 20 years. And now you realize that, a lot of times what kids get grown up and get out of school before they make those transitions to, you or the kids are getting abused because of the neglect and because of the stress level that the parents are for the kids to suffer because adults won't be responsible or are afraid to let go and move on in such situations, or maybe there's other things that are tied to it why they haven't moved on out of the situation. A lot of times it's because of financial situations where they don't want to get divorced because they're afraid that they're going to lose money. So there's a lot that goes on inside the couple's minds as far as letting go of, and especially if you've been single, well, not single, but you've been separate, from that relationship, and you just haven't taken that step. You want to be free, but fear holds you back, or something that where, maybe the kids, you're worried about the kids. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons why, and a lot of times it could be money or a house involved, land involved, all this other material stuff. What is more important? Really, is it really all about the money in the house, and the land or what they own, and or is your peace of mind and happiness and joy that you could really have and to be set free? So there's that happens to a lot of couples, is that they're tied to the money, they're tied to wanting to gain something, or they've done something wrong in a relationship as far as being married, and they don't want to go any further because they're afraid they're going to lose so much with a divorce, or that they have feelings for each other and they don't want to admit to it, and that does happen, and that's why it's so important. You just because somebody says, hey, we're separate, we've been separate for 5 years, it doesn't mean that that couple don't have feelings for each other, and it doesn't mean that that couple would get back together again. It does happen where, they realize after they broke up with the person and separated that, they start looking at themselves and realizing where they messed up. So you do have to really be careful of that, because if they're not willing to get married to you, it might be that they still got feelings for their ex, the one that they're still married to. So, and it's a very painful experience if you go with a guy or a girl that they say, hey, we're going to get divorced. It's not in paper yet. It didn't happen yet, right? So, hey, so you definitely got to be careful. So anyway, with it, when it comes to kids, they got kids and you got kids. It doesn't matter how many. It just, in a way, it does, because all the kids are different. Now, even if you have, one daddy and 5 kids, the same father, all those kids are going to be different. They're not going to be the same. The same mommy and the same daddy. They got 5 kids. Each of them going to have different personalities. They're going to have different birthdays. Some of them are going to be in September, born, and some of them are going to be born at another time of the year, and it's going to be totally opposite as your other child, because they're going to different signs, even if they came from the same, family, the same mom and dad. So you can't treat each child the same. You got to really decide on each child and the ages of, responsibilities and discipline and all that stuff. And really get to know the one that you want to get with. Find, like when you're to that level, when you already went through the first video, to a new relationship, when the guy or girl has like kids, whether 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 or how many out there that have lots of kids, and there's nothing with that, as long as they are being good moms and doing the best that they can, or that they're being great parents and trying to do the best they can for their children. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as they're being responsible and teaching their kids how to, be great parents and be great moms and dads. There's nothing wrong with that. So, if you are wanting to get involved with a lady, guys, that has 3 kids, she has 3 and you have 1, that means you got 3 and 1 is 4. Starlight's not really good with math, but I got that figured out. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So with the 4 kids, are they all, girls or boys, or all boys or girls, or is there a mix? So, and how old are they? All of that matters as far as getting involved with somebody that has kids, and you have kids. What are they all like? What are they, like, get to know them, get to find out all about their kids. Are they having any issues? Do they have emotional problems? Even though you might just have, maybe you got the 3 and then you add a 4th one. Maybe you already got your hands full with the 3, and but hopefully you get involved with a guy or a girl that is, check out, see how they are doing. What are their grades like? What are they, how are these children? Are they being taken good care of? You don't want to, go with a guy or a girl that really they're not doing such a great job with their child or children, and you see it, obviously you're like, wow, where you're like, boy, I like her, but, or I like him, but it looks like, like he or she is taking better care of themselves and their children. Well, that to me is a big, huge red flag, and, I would really think about what you're getting yourself into if they seem to take care of themselves, like their hair is cut and trimmed, and, where the children's, like you're like, huh, when are they gonna, the hair is getting kind of long, because that is, now I know that some kids, some parents do let their kids grow their hair out long, but, how's their teeth, how is their skin, how are their clothes, how do they look and dress, how are their behaviors? Because all of that is gonna, like, you might be a great father and she might not be such a great mom. Do you really want to get involved with her if, she's not even taking care of herself? Maybe she's not even taking care of herself and she's taking good care of her kids. It could go either way. Same with the guys. What if he's taking really good care of the kids, but he's not really taking good care of him? So you really got to look at all these things as far as getting together with somebody, and learn, how are they, like, study them, really. There's nothing wrong with observing somebody and checking out how they bring up their kids, how are their grades, how is their bedrooms, like, like when they invite you to the house, hopefully they give you a tour of the house, and say, hey, this is where we live, maybe when you use the bathroom, you just look through the, see how their rooms are they messy, are they teaching them responsibilities, are they, do they have chores? All that stuff matters, because, if they, not every parent brings up their kids the same way. So it's a really big importance to find out, when you're blending kids' families in from even, a lot of times that these people, the moms and dads that you're going to get involved with, they're going to, how are those people getting along with their exes? Say they're divorced. Say that you're getting involved with somebody and you both are divorced. You already settled that. Bam. You took care of that. And you both are like, now I'm serious. I don't want to just go with a girl and just go out with her, or I just don't want to go out with a guy. I have kids. I got to be an example to my kids as far as what a mom should be. Should mom be with a whole bunch of guys every, a different guy for, like, throughout the time, and it's really important that your kids see their mom or their dad. Now, how many, same with the guys, being a dad, should daddy be bringing different girls at the house throughout the time that the kids are growing up? Is it good for the kids to see daddy with another girl, and another girl? And then they, because it's not really right for the kids to, be bounced around with different types of personalities and backgrounds. And, there's going to be people that are dealing with abuse. There's going to be people, women or men, that are dealing with trauma from their past, relationship issues, and now, bam, another girl, bam, another guy, bam, and so really, you really want to take this whole relationship serious, especially when you already got divorced with your ex, and now, of course, you got the divorce and your kids are still little. So yes, you're going to have to, like maybe you have the kids on a lot of times the women will have the kids on the weekdays, but that doesn't always mean that it's always that way. Sometimes the man might have been a better father, to the children. Maybe they're the woman or no matter what sex, because sometimes women are going through some stuff that they need to go get help in order to really fully have their kids a whole week. And the same times with men is that men could be having different problems, maybe with alcohol or different situations, or pain from their past relationships, or being a kid, with their family, and they could be going out for therapy just like a female. So depending on who's more responsible as far as the being a good parent, a lot of times the court system will have the one that's more responsible to have more custody of the children, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes things are being missed, and things are being, sometimes you got other people in the system where they, like get in the system, and where it could be the opposite, where, things are not really out in the open to protect the children. So not all cases out there are out to protect the children. Safety, but they do try to work hard on that to keep the kids safe. And that is really you want to make sure whoever you get involved with, what kind of habits do they have? Are they into alcohol? Bam, number one. Do they like alcohol? How much alcohol? Is alcohol bad? Is a glass of wine bad? How much wine? How much alcohol are they drinking? Do they like going to the bars a lot? Do they like to go out and party a lot, with their friends on the weekends, even if they're not a full-time mom or dad? These questions are very important. And what kind of education, what kind of, background do these people have? What are their beliefs? Is it going to really, their beliefs, do you think just because they believe in God and you don't, do you think that is a problem, or do you think that's okay? Those are things that you have to decide on your own. And how about your kids? Now, if you believe one way and they believe another way, now what are you going to teach your kids? Are you going to give them a free will where they can decide on their own what they want to believe, or are you going to force them in what you believe? So these are all important things as far as blending families together, because, what they believe and what you believe, it does matter. Whether you think that is Starlight's opinion or not, that is really, it is really, it could really stir things up in a family, depending on their background and how their belief system is. So I definitely was taught like a Christian shouldn't go with an atheist. So, that could stir up problems. You want to go to church? Do you always want to go to church by yourself, or do you want to go together as a family? So those are really important. Should he go to church with you if he doesn't believe in God? And it would be like you're forcing him to do something against his will that he doesn't want to do, which he ought to, as a man, as a person, ought to speak up and before he even gets involved with you, or even women, that, what, I like you, I like different things about you, but really, this is a deal breaker. And that's okay. That just means that really he's not the one, or she's not the one. And I'm trying to do this both sex, because this can happen on both ways. It could be a girl that's the atheist and the man that's a Christian. So it doesn't matter which way. It's just that really beliefs are, different things. How to bring up your kids. How do they want to bring up their kids? Ask them, what's your plans for how you want to bring up the kids later on in their life? How do you see yourself as a mom? Where are you guiding your children? How much time and effort do they put in with their kids? Or do they, leave it up to the school system? Are they more worried about making money or bringing up their kids? And that goes for guys and women, because sometimes that happens. A lot of times that happens in the society. That's a big, huge issue in the world today, is that there's a lot of moms, not saying all moms are like this, that they're more worried about making money so they can go buy their own things, so they can go out and know what it's like to have money to go out and buy this and go out and buy that, where they might put their children on the back burner, where their kids are not getting all the love and support, where they're being neglected because of, where they're, the parents' roles are not really where they should be. Being a parent is a big, huge step. You got to really consider, do you, what you're doing, can you stop going to the bars? Would you stop watching football all the time to just be a good dad and, be a, going out to the malls all the time and spending money? Can you say, hey, you know what, I want to be a mom and I'm taking that serious. Even if I got to let go of the job I have and have the husband go to work and I can be a full-time mom, are you willing to be that mom? To put in to your children all the love and the teachings that they really need to, as far as their future goes, and like to protect them, make sure that that they're not getting that they're protected, make sure they're not people are not lying to them, make sure that they know the truth in life and not to start off and telling them lies. So it is so important. And how about like the holidays? How are you and him gonna do the holidays? When Easter comes, are you gonna like, there's parents out there that they believe in God and they go to church, and then Easter they celebrate it because of going to church, or the Passover and stuff like that. Or are you going to be that parent that says, no, I want the Easter bunny for holidays? Or is it going to be, like a mess with the holidays? Are you going to celebrate Halloween, or are you not going to celebrate? Are you going to celebrate Christmas, like when Jesus was born, his birthday? Or are you going to celebrate Christmas with the Santa Claus and the reindeer? And the food, what kind of food do they eat? Do they eat, are you going to get with that girl that is, teaching her kids to eat junk food, or get with that guy that, he invited you over the house and you're like, oh no, he cooked, but it's unhealthy food. I want to eat, I want to give my kids healthy food. And how about exercise? Are they the type of parent that's going to get your kids out and be active, teach them how to, to be responsible and work, teach them, that they can't always get their way? These are all very important things. And what are the rules going to be like at the house? Who's going to, you got rules at your house that you do, and then they go to the, the ex, and they got rules over there. So it's important, really, if you can have the same rules for the kids. Not that it's going to be perfect, kind of blend in your rules at the house. If the rules are at the one house, they really should be at the other house. Not saying that it's all going to be the same, because you're going to have different times that, maybe the kids go to sports, at the one house because they're there on the weekdays. So the rules are going to be, you got to be able to have an agreement with different rules, but you don't want different set of rules. It should be the same, because then it's easier for the kids to be able, obey those rules without being confused. How come, and then you got to be really smart with your kids. Those kids are going to try to talk you and change those rules. So you got to keep the standards high. And then there's a certain time with your kids that, hey, you know what? You're old enough now that because you've been responsible, I am going to let you do this. I'm going to trust you. You showed me that you have a good head on your shoulder, and I'm going to places in safe areas, of course, and say, and of course, if they're older, you want to make sure that they're going to be safe when they're able to drive around in a car and go to get a job, and that is a great time to have a phone, a cell phone, so that they, if they do get stranded, they do have a phone, that they can call you up and get help that they need, but you got to teach them the, like the right safety tools, when you get to know somebody's parents, and you say, you know what, we're going to let you go to their study them. We've done our investigation, and we're going to let them go. We're going to let them go over and have a sleepover. But it's best to really have the kids to come over your house. And yes, it's going to be louder. Yes, there's going to be more of a mess in the bedrooms in the house. But teach your children, hey, you have company coming over the house, then there's going to be rules, and they have to follow these rules in the house. And when they get done with playing, hey, you guys made the mess. Teach them to clean it up. Let them know this is our house, this is our rules. Don't let kids come in your house, and make a big mess, and not be respectful of the rules that your kids have to follow. So you really want to be a good example to your kids. And so these are some things. I know there's probably other things, but really these are really important. And I know the minutes are going up. I try to talk as quickly as I can on these topics and things that you really want to look out for. And make sure that, like you're on the same page, not that everything's going to be perfect, but you're going in the same direction. It's so important. You don't want to be going this way and they're not going that way. Because you're going to have a big, huge mess. Get to learn about their kids, their attitudes, their behaviors, and all that. It's so important. Take some time. Don't be in a rush, because that's where you're going to mess up, and then you're going to regret it. And then, especially when you want to move in and get married down the road with them. So anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you could subscribe to this YouTube channel, and don't forget the notification bell, and don't forget to leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram, and that's at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. And Starlight just says she loves you. And I really hope you have a great night, and I will see you soon. This is Starlight. Starlight, love, light, and peace.